information on Teal drones, check out the link in the video description.
What's going on there, YouTube? What do we have here? So, a little while ago, the folks at Teal Drones contacted me about doing a theme build. And I'm new to drones. I don't know anything about them, and I've never had one or flown one, so I like the idea they were having, so thought I'd give it a shot. So what we have here is the new Teal Sport, and this is I guess a racing drone. It's got some pretty impressive specs. I think 0 to 60 on it's like 1.1. It says 75 mile an hour plus top speed. Looks pretty cool. It's a lot smaller than I expected. I thought these were a little bit bigger. I think the only drones I've seen are the DJIs with the cameras and all that. So yeah, let's get this thing opened up and take a look at it. Alright, so pretty nice packaging. Very classy. So up top we've got paperwork, got a warning, and we have our drone. So this is pretty slick looking here. I don't know what a lot of this stuff is, so I have to excuse my ignorance. What they want to do, they want us to make a hot rod theme drone. Or rat rod. Something to fit my channel. So yeah, it's going to be a challenge because, again, I don't know about these things. We're limited because of weight. I don't want to add a whole bunch of stuff to it and make it too heavy to fly. And we've got to stay within the range of the propellers. But this thing's pretty cool looking. Props are flexible. We've got our camera. It's our antenna mount. So I've done a few tests. I've been brainstorming for almost 2 weeks now, trying to figure out how I can do the things that I do to this type of RC, and it hasn't been easy, that's for sure. But I finally got a vision and a tech. I looked everywhere. It's hard to decide to figure out what I want to do because nobody really modifies their drones aesthetically. It's always about performance, and so yeah, I've got limitations with the clearance of the propellers, weight. I can't add a whole lot of decoration to it, if you call it that. I don't want to inhibit its flying ability, so it's definitely going to be a challenge, but I finally got a vision, and we're going to give it a shot. So this is the base drone. It does not have the battery on it. Set that aside and pull out the battery. Now, since the battery is integral to the construction, we are going to have to modify the battery as well. Real nice, clean unit. Just fits on the bottom and locks into place. I think that's it. There comes with some extra propellers and a charger, which is really cool. I was watching some videos about this. It's completely button free. It knows what battery it's got on it, and it charges it accordingly. You don't have to do anything but power it. So that's very cool. I wish more RC cars had that. We do have to keep the antenna on. This is for the FPV goggles, and that mounts on the rear. So we're going to have to work around that. And there's our tool. Comes with a nice wrench to remove the props, which I'm going to have to while we get ready to do some paint on it. Comes with an extra set of props. I didn't realize those were gray or black. I've kind of built my theme around the blue of the propellers, so I think we're going to keep those on there. But I'm going to get all this stuff out of the way, and we'll start looking at how this little boy comes apart. Alright guys, so thing came apart pretty easily. It's very well structured. I really was happy about how the props come off. They just unplug. You take the 2 screws out, the top case comes off, one connector releases it for the camera, or the antenna for the camera, and then the engines unplug off the side. It's really a smart thing. So if you crash it and break one, and you just put your engine in another piece and snap it back in. I was going to remove the whole circuit board. I got the LED section out of the back here. Don't want to get any paint on that because it does have a programmable LED function where you can help identify yours while you're flying it. So I just took the circuit board loose. The battery connector seems like it's either pressed in or glued in. I didn't want to mess that up, and I'm not confident enough in my soldering skills to take the wires off, so we'll just leave that in there. I lifted the board up, put a little bag around it, and taped off the edges. I covered the buttons in the front and have it all sealed up here so won't get any paint or rust or anything on it. So I'm still kind of brainstorming my ideas here. I think I have this extra top piece that I've sanded because these are really glossy, and I wanted to make sure paint adheres to it. But I wanted to do more than just paint it. And I've been looking at all kinds of things, so I haven't had much luck in this size because everything I'm used to working with is 8th scale or 10th scale. And this is, you know, if I was to call this a car, it would be about 24th scale. And looking at engines and things of that nature, there's just nothing looked right. I bought a model car. I was going to try to put some fins on the back, but then we get in the way of the propellers, so it's been a challenge. I mean, this is completely out of my comfort zone. That's part of the reason why I agreed to it, because I wanted to challenge myself a little bit and see what I can come up with. So instead of taking all this apart right now, I'm going to leave it while I know where everything goes, because I'm not sure how that attaches. I don't want to undo anything I can't do back. So, looking at that, all that stuff. So, let's just think about the ideas for right now. It's in 3 sections. We have our battery on the bottom. We have our middle section with the circuit board and the props and the engine stick out, and then the lid with the camera and the antenna. So I thought about doing a sandwich theme, and we're going to do the midsection in real rust. The arms for the propellers are going to be rusty, and then the top and bottom halves I'm going to paint and patina and add some details to. So I picked out a color to go with the blue props. I'm hoping it's not too green. I think it'll look right. This was the color I painted my Land Cruiser. So I'm hoping that paint can's not dried up either. That's a brand new one. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm going to take the props off, and I'm going to get the rust coat on the arms and the midsection while I've got all that ready. Give that plenty of time to dry, and we can start looking at what's next. Alright guys, so took some time to scuff everything up, try to get the gloss off of it. Since these are attached to the midsection, we're going to do them with the Modern Masters metal effects and let them just rust naturally overnight. Got them taped up, the engines. I don't want to get anything on. I really don't want to take it apart any further because I don't know how it all goes together. It's a little daunting tearing apart something brand new and as expensive as this, so we got them taped up. This stuff is not going to splatter or anything, so as long as the edges are good, it won't get in there. I've got them propped up right so I can kind of get to all sides of them. I did a test one of these and it came out pretty good. I tried some more things on it later and it didn't come out so good, so I was hoping to just use some of the extra parts that I got to do and then just swap them out, but I tested too many, so we're going to have to use the actual parts here off of the drone. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting first coat of this on, trying to get it even. I got a brand new brush, some cheap hobby brushes that I picked up at the hobby shop last week, and yeah, we'll start doing this in high speed. Alright guys, so I've got the first coat of paint on the top and bottom. So now I'm looking at rusting the midsection. And still drying a couple spots here. Need to get the fan on them. I think I've decided against the second coat. It looks pretty even. It's evened out a lot since it's drying. The debate with this stuff that I've had is whether to brush on the activator or squirt on the activator. And you can see the squirt bottle is starting to get eat up because of dipping the brush in it. And it looks like the actual activator is starting to rust a little bit because of all the metal that's been dipped back in. So really, from what I can tell so far, I'm getting better results squirting it. It's a mess and it gets all over your hands and it's yeah, it's a pain in the butt. But I think it works better. So that's another reason why I went ahead and bagged up all the electronics here to keep them all safe and dry. And I'm going to go ahead and attempt to do this. Like I said, I got to let those dry a little bit more, but we can go ahead and start this. Alright, so I need to add some detail here to the top. I've got these little chrome exhaust pipes that I pulled off of a toy Gravedigger monster truck. And I'm looking at how I can mount them. I don't want to just stick them on because that would be silly. I'm looking at where things are underneath and trying to find the least intrusive way to do it, because I'm going to need to drill or cut some holes and have them sticking through, but I don't want to interfere with any of the electronics inside. And really it needs to be right here, and that's not working. I'm not sure what this part is for here, and I believe it is stuck down with tape. Alright, so it looks like I can move that wherever I need. There's nothing really there, just a little plastic pedestal for it to stick to. So like I said, I'm going to use this one here that I've already sanded, and that way I don't lose any screws or sight of where any of that stuff goes. So I'm going to go ahead and start looking at how I got the place. Now I got to figure out how to cut nice rectangular holes without messing up everything. Alright. Alright guys, so I've got them kind of stuck in there. My holes are a little bit wide, but whatever, I haven't decided yet how I'm going to attach them, so once we get to that point we'll fill them in a little bit. But it's kind of cool looking, and I think the contrast is going to pop. Having a little chrome on there is going to really stand out. We are going to weather the chrome, of course, but not yet. So looking at my midsection, still a little wet. I'm going to let it dry all the way, and we'll see if we need another coat. I'm not sure. The brush I had was a little bit hard, so it was leaving some streaks, so I'm not sure how that's gonna work out just yet, but starting to see a vision for it. So I think I'm ready to put some paint on the bottom, on the battery and the upper shell. So I'm gonna go clean them up real good and start spraying while it's still daylight out. Alright guys, so I'm doing a dry fitting here. Excuse me, I'm say some Hot Pockets. Looking at my exhaust, I went ahead and painted the insides of the exhaust black. Probably needs another coat. I whipped up this little sheet metal piece here just to add another layer of another texture. So I've drilled holes. I've got some scale hardware here from Locked Up RC. Some more of the scale lug nuts that never fit any of my wheels, so I've got a bunch of them. So I'm just kind of bending and shaping that piece to fit. I've got it all ground down, and I'm going to throw that in the sink here in a little bit with the vinegar and I don't even remember what I'm supposed to use. It's been a while since I've weathered and rusted like that, but I'll show you that here in a little bit. My color came out pretty good. You can see some sanding marks, which I'm not worried about since this is going to be pretty severely weathered. Just looking at the fit and the finish right now of my other piece, doing some more trimming on the metal before I I rust it. So the exhaust looks pretty good. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to attach them. It's probably going to be kind of crude on the inside with something like hot glue, but I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and pull those out. That's going to be hard to get off. I didn't even tighten any of the screws down yet. What I'm going to do next is I've got to let this dry a little bit more, and then I'm going to wet sand it and try to bring out some of the black of the original plastic, just around some of the edges and things like that, just to add another little bit of depth to it, and then we'll come back and weather it on top of that. So that's what I'm thinking. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. I can get these screws out. There's no nuts or anything, they're just drilled through. Fit pretty snug. There's another one popped out. There we go. Alright, so there's my little piece. Needs some more shaping. But overall, got the plastic from drilling into it. I'm going to go ahead and wet sand. Alright guys, welcome to my kitchen. This is where I do my wet sanding. So, I don't want to go too far with this, so I think I've got some 1000 grit. I'm going to start with some 2000 grit sandpaper here. Move that paintbrush out of the way somewhere. And see what kind of look we get. I don't want to get too far through the teal paint. I just want to smooth it out a little bit and bring out a few of the edges. This is it's pretty delicate. I've been doing a lot of this on my Bronco build. Alright, so for the battery, I'm not going to hold it directly under the water. We're just going to have to rinse our paper off quite a bit. Alright, so I've got my little metal engine cover piece bent pretty well into shape. So I've got it ground down on the surface side. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the sink and let it rust up naturally. Alright guys, so I'm waiting on the metal parts to rust. Trying something out here with the propellers. It's kind of a neat look on the top side. Brush painting the bottom silver to get streaks. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do with them. It's just kind of a test. They folks at Teal Drones said to don't hold back. Don't worry about making it flyable. They want it to be cool looking. So I don't want to do a whole lot to the props. My original plan was to not do anything. That's why I went with this color to try to go with the blue of the props that were on it. It does have a set of like a smoke gray props as well. So it's just trying it out. If it doesn't look right, I can't make it look right, then we'll go ahead and swap the other ones on and go from there. You've seen I made some other plates for the body up here by the front intake next to the camera. Just figured I'm sitting here cutting metal. I had pieces that almost fit, so I trimmed them and sanded them down, threw them in my peroxide and vinegar compound. Alright, so I'm going to do this like I used to do everything, and just slather on a thick coat, and then we'll dab it off here with the towel and see what kind of look we get. Alright, still pretty wet. I'm going to go ahead and start dabbing, see if we can see what we're going to get here. Shirt's leaving an awful lot of texture. Let me grab the... here we go. Got a cleaner shirt. It's really hard to hold this thing. I end up getting this all over me, but Oh well. Alright guys, it's day 2. Everything is dry. Started weathering the top half. It's looking pretty good. I'm trying to make it nice streak so it looks like it's gotten soot all over it from flying. Kind of give it that look of speed and motion. I've started putting the electronics and stuff back together. Got the circuit board back in. Got the LED lights in the back still clear and visible. Buttons on the front. Nice real rust. Got my metal plates rusted from the sink with the peroxide and vinegar. So once we get the top done, then we will put those on, put all electronics in the top shell and get it back together, see what else we can come up with. Really gotten an idea, a vision for it now, so I'm pretty excited. The AK rust streaks make the chrome look gold, adds a little bit of depth depending on how you wipe it. And with the black paint on the inside of the pipes, it looks fairly realistic, other than it's a drone and it's got 8 giant pipes sticking out on top of it. But yeah, I think it's gonna look good. I'm gonna let this dry all night while I'm at work, and we'll pick back up on this a lot later. Alright guys, so got everything mocked up here. The rust streaks have dried. I need to do some of the black wash, and I've got this new wash. It's a light rust wash. This is from AK as well. I just ran across this when I was trying to buy more of my streaks, and it's a different shade. I'm not sure yet how it works and how I want to use it, but I might give that a try here in a little bit. But I'm going to use my pigment binder, and I picked up some more black pigment as I ran out, and I'm going to hit just some of the cracks and stuff around the top of the body. I'm going to take my metal pieces off here. Found some nuts to mount those scale hardware bolts with, so we'll get all that stuff put on here after this step. I'm going to try to go light. I like the look, I just need a little bit of black detail in it. So yeah, let's get to work. Alright guys, I've got all the scale hardware in, holding the metal sheets on the top. I think the only thing left I want to do is I want to go ahead and do some more black so it looks like soot from the exhaust. And then I'm going to start swapping over the electronics from the other top case. Get the antenna on and the camera in and put this bad boy back together. I like how my rust came out on my top metal pieces, and looks pretty good. Adds another layer of texture to it. When I did the black wash, the black pigment and the pigment binder with the rust streaks, it had kind of turned a bronze gold hint to the chrome, and then the black wash kind of took it back down, but you can still see it in the middles and then underneath. So it's kind of cool. They worked against each other, but it worked out in the end. So yeah, I'm gonna let this dry a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna put some smoke on it, and let that dry and start putting electronics in. Alright guys, there it is. Oh, let me turn this fan off. It's about to storm here, lightning and stuff, so I'll probably lose power so I'm out in the country. But I've got it done. I dub it the Scorpion because it has 8 legs and pinchers and a tail. It looks kind of like, I don't know, that's just the vibe I get. I got everything mounted in. It's on. I don't have a controller or the FEV goggles or anything to fly it, unfortunately. So we just get to look at it for now. But yeah, it's different. I've not seen anyone modify drones like this. I'm not super familiar with drones, so it's kind of a neat perspective to come at it with. I tried really hard to not make it unflyable. I added very little weight, and most of the weight added is the center section, the rust, because that iron paint, it's got a little bit of weight to it. I had to do a little bit of sanding to get everything to line up and attach like it's supposed to on the arms, because it does add a little thickness to it. But I've got it all on. It's all put back together. It's powered on. The LED in the back is lit up. And yeah. Pretty, I think it looks pretty cool. I'm happy with it. I hope Teal Drones is happy with it. If you're interested in these things, check out their site. There's a link in the video description. And here's a slideshow of the finished product so you can see it better. So thank you guys for watching, and here we go.